There is a well in the jungle of the Yucatán. The Maya believed it was the mouth of a god. For 1,000 years they fed it jade, gold, and people. The man who led these offerings was not a monster. He was a husband, a father, a scholar who could read the stars and knew the day the sun would die at noon. He believed that without him, the rain would stop, the crops would fail, and the world would slowly end. He believed the sky could be bought, and he was about to spend everything he had to find out. This is what people will do when they are certain they are saving the world. This is the channel They Were Real. The true story of one ordinary person inside a moment that changed history. But first, the morning. Before any of it. His name is lost to us, so we will give him his title, Chichén, which means he of the days, a husband, a father. In his city, he is part priest, part astronomer, part judge. The shape of his head was made when he was a baby. It was bound between two boards. To his people, this was beautiful. It marked him as someone who would serve the gods. His son has the same shape now. He is teaching the boy the count of the days, the calendar his own father taught him. Which days are lucky, and which days a price must be paid. Everything you are about to find hard to watch, this man does for the people in this room. To understand why, you have to stop seeing a savage and start seeing a believer. This photograph was taken at Chichén Itzá in 1892. By then, the Great Pyramid had stood empty, half swallowed by the jungle, for centuries. But 1,200 years ago, this was the greatest city the Maya world had ever built. Tens of thousands of people live here. Pilgrims walk for weeks to reach it. They carry jade from mountains hundreds of miles away. They play a game here where the price of losing is death. They carve death into their walls. To them, this is not cruelty. It is how the world is fed. But that is the world as it should be. This is the world as it is. For 3 years now, the rains have come late. Or not at all. The corn grows small and weak. The water stores drop lower. And in the markets, under the prayers, a question is spreading that no one will say out loud. What if the gods have stopped listening? To understand why the whole city will follow this man to the well, you first have to see what they have already watched him do. He is not a liar, and he is not mad. He is the most learned man for 100 miles. He follows the planet Venus across the years. He keeps a calendar more exact than the one Europe is using at the same time. And he can do one thing that to his people looks exactly like holding the sky in his hands. He told them the sun would die at noon, and at noon, on the day he named, the sun began to die. The sun came back because he asked it to. So when this man says the rains can be brought back too, if the price is paid, no one in the city doubts him. Why would they? They have seen him command the sky with their own eyes. The priest does not begin with someone else's blood. He begins with his own. A stingray spine pushed through his own tongue. A cord of thorns pulled through the wound. The blood falls onto bark paper. The paper is burned so the smoke can carry it up to where the gods live, and in the smoke he sees them, his ancestors, his gods. He has given his blood, and they have come the way they always have. But this time they bring no rain, so he gives more. For 60 days he eats no meat and no salt. He touches no one. He sleeps apart from his wife. He cuts his own body again and again. Remember that before you judge what comes next, he spent his own blood first for months and kept nothing back. The sky does not change. And so the priests reach the answer their whole world has trained them to reach. If a priest's own blood is not enough, then the debt must be larger. It must be a life. The Maya did not sacrifice their own people first. They sacrificed captives, enemy warriors caught in raids. Some of those raids were fought for this very reason, to take men to give to the gods. The man chosen here is a soldier. In another year, he might have stood where the priest stands now. They paint him blue, the color of rain, the color of the water god, the color of what they are asking for. The boy watches with him. He does not say it, but the question is plain on his face. And what if the rains still do not come? His father has only one answer. It is the most dangerous answer a desperate people can believe, that they have not given enough yet. The idea can never be wrong. There can only be too little given. At dawn, the whole city comes. They walk the white road from the temple to the well. The instruments are older than the city. A turtle shell, struck with a deer antler, makes a sound they believe is thunder itself. The voice of the rain god, called down to watch. The man painted blue walks on his own feet. To the people watching, he is no longer quite a man. He is a message being carried to a god, the most precious thing they can send. And then the city goes quiet. First, the gifts that travel with him. Jade, gold, each piece broken first, killed, so its spirit can follow him down. Nothing whole was ever given to the well. He calls on Chaac, Lord of the Four Rains, the god who lives in the well. And he sends down the city's prayer in the only language the gods have ever answered. An offering. And then it is done. The old records say the people believed those given to the well did not really die. They passed through it, into the house of the rain god, to speak for the city from the other side. Everyone looks up, so they did it again and again. When one offering did not bring the rain, the logic told them the answer was more, never that the deal itself was empty. We can measure those years now, in cave stone and the mud of old lakes. As the Maya world fell apart, scientists count 8 terrible droughts, some lasting 3 years, some 18. At their worst, the rains dropped by nearly half. No offering changed it. The rains came late, or weak, or not at all, for the rest of his life. The pilgrims stopped coming. The city he had given everything to protect emptied out around him, family by family. The little boy he taught the calendar grew old keeping it too, counting days for a god who had stopped answering in a city the jungle was already swallowing. He kept his side of the deal his whole life. The sky never kept its own. And the terrible thing is not that he was cruel. It is that he was faithful, and it made no difference at all. 1,000 years later, the well gave its gifts back. In 1904, a treasure hunter dragged the bottom of the cenote. He pulled up jade, gold, and the bones of the offered. And in 2024, their DNA was red. It fixed a myth 100 years old. The offerings of Chichén Itzá were not the young women of the stories. They were boys, many of them close relatives chosen in pairs. The people of this city gave what they believed was most precious by their own terrible logic to a sky that could not be bought. But here is the part the postcards leave out. The Maya did not vanish. That same 2024 study found the direct descendants of those boys living 25 miles from the well, millions of Maya, alive today, carrying this history in their blood. You have seen their pyramid 1,000 times, on postcards, in films, behind the weather report. Now you know who climbed it and what he believed it would cost to keep your world alive.